What's up? It's Carly Condiff. I am a first-year sports product design student at the University of Oregon. Did my undergraduate in apparel design, and today I wanted to walk you through how to make your own pattern repeats in Adobe Illustrator from hand drawings. These are a great way to customize things in your portfolio, add a personal touch, or print your own fabric for projects like I've done here. So without further ado, let's get started. Start with having all of the images of the artwork that you've drawn. You can use marker or pen, but having some weight to it will really help, and you can capture the color or change the color later. I highly recommend scanning in. I've scanned in the Portland artwork. So whenever we do this, we're going to use our classic essential toolbar, and you can use this crop image button to make sure that it's really just what you want. We'll go to Window, Image Trace, and then once we are here, we can use these different settings. So I want to do this one in color and capture the color. You could do grayscale. And really I want to minimize the colors it's going to try to capture. So to get all those oranges, let's say maybe about 6 different colors. These are different things you can play around with to get different sharpness of your edges. So after the fact, you can play around, and to be able to see how it's traced, you can press the preview button. So I'm actually quite happy with that. If you wanted more colors or less colors, you could play around with it, but I will go ahead and repeat the process for these other 3 images and then come back. My image is traced. I want to get rid of the background. So by doing this, I can hit my expand button and it'll pull apart the 2 different colors. And so then if you right click, you have the option to ungroup, and you may need to do this a couple of times to make sure that you are only grabbing the background, and then you can delete out these different elements behind it. And so I will repeat this process with all of the images until I just have the artwork that I want to include in this pattern repeat. I also decided that I wanted to include a second using the tree that I already have by copying Command C and then Command V to paste it, and you can move these around and put them together. So I made 3 trees, and then these are the elements that I'm going to start building my pattern off of. So what you'll need to do is on the left hand corner, find the rectangle tool and click, and you'll need a square. I usually just use 4 inches, but you can use whatever measurements you want and scale it later. So I have a 4-inch rectangle. I'll need no fill, so you'll do none. But to help you see the edge, you may want a stroke on it currently. And so at this point, you'll start laying out your design within the square, and then also follow along the top left side and the top of the square, and have elements coming in and out of this part, because that'll be key to making a pattern repeat. But for now, don't have anything overlap these bottom corners. So go ahead, you can copy paste, create however many you want, start playing around with how you want these to lay in here. So now I'm happy with how it is laid out. I did a couple different sizes on this by hitting shift and scaling it. So I have a couple different variables. And so now what we need to do is reflect everything that's hanging off of the edges onto its opposing edge. So you can select everything, and if you right click, there is a transform. You will go to move, and this is why we made a very specific size of square. So I need to move this horizontally, so I'm going to do 4 inches, and I don't want it to move vertically at all, so I'm going to do 0 inches, and I will be copying it instead of just moving it. And so now it's exactly hanging off the amount that it is over here. Alright, so I will repeat this with the tree, go to transform, move, but this time instead of horizontal, I need to make it 0 for horizontal, but 4 for vertical, and I will copy it. And so then now we have everything in the place that we need. The rectangle, we don't want the stroke on it because that will show up in our repeat, so I am removing it. And then the rectangle is currently underneath all of our artwork, and so we need one on top of it as well. So if you hit Command Copy of the rectangle and then Command Shift V, it'll copy and paste one into place. So now we have one on top and one below. Alright, so I have everything selected. I will go to Object, down to Pattern, and then over to Make. And then it will show us what the pattern repeat will look like. It looks good to me, so I'm going to press Done. And so now the pattern is over in my swatches. So you can pull up a rectangle and fill it in your swatches. You can also, if you need help finding the swatches, you can find it in the window. And then you can, right now it's doing stroke, don't want that, I want it to fill with my swatch. And so that's what it looks like. Alright, so I just wanted to show you a few different variations you could do. The top one is our original design that we just finished and it's ready to use. If I wanted to shrink all of them, make them more spaced out, I could get this kind of look, or I could go in and actually change colors by selecting the individual objects and go into my color picker, and so that's how I made them all green. So I hope you have fun with this, make something awesome from your drawings, and thank you very much. Alright, now that you have that skill, make sure to subscribe, check out the other talented students' videos, and get creative.